Hey everybody, welcome into episode 31 of my YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're here with me. Tonight we're going to look at some pickups and talk about a little bit about Strongsville. I had some nice cards I've picked up since the last video I did about that subject, and we've had some uh, big auctions go down. Tried to get a really large card, wasn't able to do it. Pivoted, as me and Mike Petty said in our latest Odd Couple episode, and was able to get a really huge card anyways. Not quite as big as the other one, but I'm fired up to have this one. I'll show it to you in a minute. I showed it to you in the Jackie Robinson video. But a little bit about Strongsville. Had a blast. I was so worried that it was no way it was going to rise to the expectations. You hear so much about that place and how quaint it is, but yet it's all vintage, and all the guys and the fun times you're going to have from the community there. And I was really looking forward to it, and it didn't disappoint. So just to let you know, you may have already heard me talk about this before, but last year when all the Strongsville stuff went down, I was a guy that just watched videos. I would comment and things like that, but I really enjoyed the community just from a viewership standpoint. And last year when I saw the community and how much fun they were having and everybody sharing their videos, I thought, man, that looks like fun. That's something that I really think I would enjoy doing. But I was really worried about doing videos myself. I didn't think that I was knowledgeable enough, that I knew what to do on a video or even how to make one. But as far as the hobby goes, I just thought, there's guys, I haven't been in long enough, been back in from being dormant and not collecting. And I was getting up to speed on grading and all the different technical stuff. And then I just got to think about, man, I love baseball cards. And I'm just going to get on a show. I'm going to do a show. And I want to do one based off of my collection, on my collecting journey, do stuff with friends. And I wanted to experience what I saw those guys were. So when I went to the National last year with my best friend, I told him there was a YouTube get together. And I thought, maybe Tim won't want to go, but Tim was game. He said, what else we got to do? So we go by there and just wanted to hang out in that get together and see what that community was about. And inside that room, I kind of felt the same thing that I thought I had seen on the Strongsville videos. It was a sense of community, everybody just getting along, and basically a bunch of card nerds sitting around like myself, talking about baseball cards and just having a good time. And I thought that's what I want to do. So I had met Greg Miller at the National the day before, and then saw him again that day. And I told him what I was thinking about doing. He was really nice to me and shared his phone number, and so he was somebody I could springboard off of. But that's how it happened. So that was a year ago. So going to Strongsville and being a part of that myself was a pretty big deal, and it was fun. Was able to get a media pass and get in there and film the cases before anybody came in the room. And I've gotten a ton of views off that. I hope you've enjoyed that if you've watched them. Also, we had a couple of get-togethers. Chris from Missouri had a YouTube get-together on Friday night. And then on Saturday night, the four collectors had a trade night. And that was unusual to have an all vintage trade night. And man, it was awesome. I saw Leighton Shelton and Jeremy Lee. He was telling Jeremy Lee about it on Saturday night on Jeremy's show. And he was blown away too. And for Leighton to be blown away, as many things as he's been to, of that nature, told me that what I felt in there, I was justified in my feelings because it was just special. It was a bunch of dudes who sat around looking at baseball cards, who have a love for cards, and there was just one common love language in there, and it was cards. There were guys from Oregon, a guy from Australia, guys from the Northeast, Southeast, West, Midwest. It didn't matter. We all had something in common, and it was just fun. I met people that I'd never met before. A lot of you guys that are watching this tonight came up to me and told me hello, and that meant the world to me. I took pictures with people. So, it was a lot of fun. And so I can't wait to go again next year. It did not disappoint. So we're about to look at some cards. Some of the cards are gifts that fellow YouTubers gave me at the show. Others are pickups from auctions and from Strongsville while I was there. So we'll get to that. This won't be a long video, but I want to share these with you. And thanks so much for watching. All right, welcome back. First, I want to start off showing some of the gifts that I was blessed enough to receive from my good buddies in the community. This one is a Larry Doby Jr. card that was given to me by Mookie Chilson. We both share affinity for Larry Doby and his story. And so Mookie surprised me with this card, which is pretty cool. And the next thing is a little bigger. I don't know if I can fit it all on the screen. I should have zoomed out. But this right here is a Baseball America. And it says Armed for Battle. Our Gala Olympic Preview. And he knew I would know what this picture was. He knew it. And what the significance of this picture is, he said, "You know what this is about?" And I said, "Yeah, I know what it's about. That's R.A. Dickey right here." Ended up being a knuckleballer. But the way his elbow and his arm is hanging right there, the orthopedic surgeon for the Texas Rangers saw this picture and thought his arm was hanging at a weird angle and it was pronated in a way that he thought something was wrong with him. So he initiated an exam only to realize that R.A. Dickey did not have a Tommy John ligament, a UCL. He didn't have one. He either blew it out as a young person and it just never knew it, and so he pitched all those years without it, or he was born without it. But either way, Texas Rangers then balked at paying him first round money, and he lost a lot of money off this picture right here. But I know R.A. Dickey. He lives here in Nashville, and I've had some dealings with him. He's just a fine guy. But Mookie said, "You might want to get this autograph." So anyways, thank you, Mookie. This is awesome. So I really enjoy having that. So those are the two from Mookie. Then Jason, everyday card collector, surprised me again, knows I like Larry Doby, and surprised me with this awesome Red Man card of Larry Doby. And so I'm glad to have that and add that to my collection. And so I'm so thankful for that. He also gave me some vintage cards that are actually modern. So he got me a Ted Williams, this cool Jackie Robinson. Look at the image on that one. It's really cool. Stadium Chrome card. This Roger Hornsby. Lou Gehrig. He knew all the guys I love. And last but not least, Shoeless Joe Jackson. So thank you so much, Jason, for those. I really appreciate them. Now, I'm going to move this out of the way because this magazine's taking so much space up. And went to Philadelphia to see the Phillies with my daughter, and got to hang out with TJ is online, Tony, and he gave me this Steve Jeltz. I believe it's a rookie card, and Tiffany, and thought that was really cool. Thankful for that. Also another Steve Jeltz when he played with the Royals. He has the best Steve Jeltz collection of all time. And then he gave me this awesome Robin Roberts signed 1956 Topps card. So thank you so much for those, Tony. Awesome. Again, I'm just blown away by the generosity. I got these two at trade night. Scott, Reindeer Studios, he does these custom cards, and they're so cool, and they're numbered. And I bought those from him along with some T-shirts. And I already wore some of the T-shirts this weekend, and I'm very thankful for those. And now into the auctions. So I don't think I've shown this one yet, but I picked this one up a couple of months ago in an auction. I believe it was right after my last pickup video. So I've been wanting to add one of these, and actually this was not an auction. This was on eBay, of all things. Greg Miller one morning sent me this link and said, check this out. It was in on eBay, and it was in the PSA Vault, that new thing they're doing. And so I was able to buy it, and on a buy it now deal, and for a couple $1,000 under comp. So I was blown away. And getting this in a 2, it's a beautiful card, being a 15. And the great thing about the PSA Vault, when you buy from eBay, it doesn't have to go through authentication and be sent to California and back. So got it pretty quickly. So I'm blessed to own that now. Picked this one up on eBay a while back. Just a beautiful raw card of Jim Gilliam. He's from Nashville, and is where he was born, and was one of the early African-American guys to break into major leagues. He was so good at playing second base that kind of let Brooklyn push Jackie out a little sooner than in Jackie. He was getting older and his skills were declining a little bit, but Gilliam was a great player too. And then I was trying to land a big card, which was the 49 Bowman Jackie Robinson rookie card. It was signed, and was not able to do that on Love of the Game. But after that, I realized I couldn't land that. I had raised a bunch of money. I had to do a video over that, but I was able to land a couple of more cards. Actually, grabbed this Ted Williams. It's a beautiful signed 58 All-Star card. And I've got some cards out of stack here. Was able to get this Stan Musial and signed 1959. I love the ballpoint pen, the skinnier autograph on this, but just a beautiful card as well. Love collecting Stan Musial. Was able to get this. It's so cool. I wanted this card anyways, and you know how my affinity is for autograph cards. And they had a huge autograph. And by the way, this is SCP Auctions out of California, and I can't speak highly enough of them. I went over to there, and I hate how this is old school. This is before they were slabbing. They put that stupid sticker on the back. It's inside the slab, but I went over there and bought these, and they had such a good selection in that auction that night of autographed cards, and I'll tell you the rest here in just a second. But this Eddie Collins 1921 exhibit signed card, very low pop, and just so cool to have a signed card of a dude that was in the Black Sox scandal, even though he was a clean Sox. He was there, a Hall of Famer, played for those great Philadelphia A's teams of Connie Mack. But this uniform, looked it up with the help of Dan Wallach, the White Sox and Joe Jackson expert that I had on my channel. This is a 1919 uniform. This is the only year they wore this particular uniform. So yeah, it's a 1919 Black Sox uniform. They didn't wear this in the World Series, but this is their home uniforms from that season. So that's cool. Also was able to get this 1921-24 exhibits Burley Grimes. It's autographed. So yeah, these are oversized. Let me try to zoom in on this. This autograph has faded out a little bit, but it's really cool. Another pre-war autograph. Anytime you get a pre-war autograph, to me, it just raises the stakes. Just makes it that much cooler. And then the next one, I showed this in my Jackie Robinson video. I was able to land this one. And check out that autograph. I mean, it is exquisite. So let me speak a little bit about SCP Auctions. Couple of things. One is, I got these cards, and I went to the bank on Monday. So this would have been late Saturday night when the auction ended. Monday around lunchtime Central, like 11 o'clock Central, I go to the bank, wire the money to SCP. And do you know, the next day at 2 o'clock, these cards were in my hand. They next day aired these suckers, and it was like $15 shipping. The other thing about SCP Auctions, they do not charge sales tax. So you save a lot of money going through them as well. So again, I can't speak highly enough of them. They're just an amazing auction house. All right, now we're getting into the Strongsville pickups. And so these pickups were covering several things with me, and I'll explain to you those as they go. So here's the first one. I got this one raw, and SGC was there on the premises, and you could do a submission. I submitted this to SGC and paid extra for the express, and today they arrived. So I'm taping this on Monday night. So a little over a week later, these are in my hand. This one is, anyways. This is the only one that I bought raw there, and it's a Nashville Volunteers card, and it's the 1910 Oatmeal Cigarettes Series 8 red borders. It's just a really cool card. I'm trying to collect a lot of stuff that has to do with Nashville, so that fit the bill on that. Then I saw this one. I'm doing a Nolan Ryan run, and if you don't know, I named my son Nolan after this guy right here, and I saw this one in a case. I thought it fit my eye pretty good. In this 71, I didn't have this card, and not a lot of chipping around it. 6.5 ain't bad, but you know, it's got some of that chipping, but it looks pretty good for the grade to me, and so I bought that one. The next one, anytime I see a Cracker Jack, I'm enthralled, but this one right here was really cool. It's 1915 Daryl Pratt. So what's so big about this card? Well, it's a common, but Daryl Pratt and Christy Mathewson are the only guys in the 1914 set that they changed the image on the card to the 1915. Daryl Pratt and Christy Mathewson both had action shots in the 1914 set. And in the 1915 set, they ended up with a portrait picture of the card. So I thought that was cool to grab his portrait. It's still common, so it's not crazy expensive. I mean, all Cracker Jacks are expensive now, but it's not like a Christy Mathewson, obviously. But yeah, just a cool card. Then this one fit the bill. Again, a pre-war autograph. Not just a pre-war autograph, but Rube Marquard on this I think it's 1912 is what year these were. It's a T227 Series of Champions set. Got a great back on it. It's a Miner's Extra smoking tobacco card. It's got a good bio of him, but he was part of the glory of their times. So I have an affinity for those players. So we have pre-war autograph, and we got a guy that was in glory of their times. I already had the Joe Wood autograph Cracker Jack card. Now I have a Rube Marquard. So that fit that avenue. When I went, I said, I want to try to get a Christy Mathewson or a Walter Johnson. This one was at trade night on Saturday night, and I thought my buying was over with, and this one was on somebody's table. And it's just, I love, love, love these American Caramel, the E90-1 cards. They just have so much color to them. They're so pretty. So that color burst behind him with the sunset is so pretty, and I love the backs. Got a little caramel stain right there. These came in the boxes of caramel. So I'm so blessed to have added this one. So this was a Christy I added. I didn't expect. I went with the goal of actually adding a Christy Mathewson Cracker Jack or a Walter Johnson Cracker Jack, but I was aiming for a card of both of those guys, and I got this one. So wasn't really expecting to land that one, and I did, and I'm fired up about it. This one I did get in the show, and again, it's not a real high grade, but a high appeal card. These gold borders just shimmer, and I don't know if you can really tell in this light, but the foil on that is awesome. It has a little bit of mark here, but not a lot of the chipping. It's very centered. I love this card. When you look at this card, you feel like you really know what Christy Mathewson looked like if you saw him up close. You kind of got the bangs going, obviously. We call those Bama bangs here in the South. But just a great card, sweet cap back. But this, to me, is Christy Mathewson's most iconic card. And so I was fired up when I landed this one. So that made the show very special, just getting that one. And then the Walter Johnson. There was probably, oh man, 5 or 6, 7 of these in there, and I couldn't find one I liked, and so I'd given up. I wanted one centered, and I wanted one with sharp registration, and this one has that in spades. So it's centered and has great registration. Not a high grade, I mean only a 2, but high eye appeal, and so it just I thought, I'm not going to get a Christy Mathewson at the show because this one was at trade night as well on the same table as the E90-1. So I was blown away. I wasn't going to settle for one that didn't fit my eye. This one fit it, and my patience paid off. And so I'm so glad I added that one. And then my biggest purchase at the show was this bad boy right here, 1933 Gaudi Lou Gehrig. And what was cool about this one, Tim Payne had 3 of these in his case side by side. And this one was the highest graded, but that doesn't always mean that's going to be the nicest card. But man, when you saw them side by side, the registration on these are pretty tough. They're blurry a lot of times. Look how sharp that image is on his face. I mean, it is perfect. There's no blurriness. And maybe you don't really realize how sharp the registration is on this, but buddy, when you saw the 3 next to each other, the other 2 were pretty average. And so it really made this one stand out even more. The color of the blue pops. This is 92. Of course, he has the second card. I think it's 160. And the colors on those sometimes are a little different. You can kind of see the bleed through. At first, I thought it was a stamp, but that is actually Lou Gehrig backwards up here. It's the bleed through of the dark blue print, which is not going to detract anything from the grade. And also you can see his leg here and there. So it's really cool. So just a great print of this great card of this great player. And I'm glad to add this to my set. So that's my pickup video for this time around. Thank y'all for watching. I'll be right back. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Looked at some major cards there. I'm very proud of the pickups I've had. And, you know, the Strongsville, there were a bunch of avenues that I met inside of what I needed for my PC there. But more than that, I mean, the cards were amazing. But more than that, the community and the friendships and the bonds that were formed are just, you know, something that goes beyond the cards themselves. So I feel like now, you know, I already felt like when I went there, I had a community just from the guys that I knew, whether it was Dan or Theo or Sammy Thunder, and of course my circle there that I hang out with a lot and talk to a lot is Greg and Mookie, Darren and Mike Petty. And then, of course, Mike Moynihan was there in Orlando, and I'm leaving people out, but there was a lot of dudes there, Jason, a lot of guys. And so just had the best time and just had a blast. So can't wait for next year. Thanks so much for watching this. I'll see you next time.